You're listening to the Late Night Playset podcast. Late Night Playset is brought to you by Los Angeles Living.
Hey Jay Ryan, hey Nicole. Here you go again. I'm bringing you into my new listing. Another one. Come check it out. Look at this pool. Look at this yard. 24,000 square foot flat lot, 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath, single story ranch, mid-century in the heart of Encino in the hills. So come check it out. We're selling houses over here, guys. Thanks for taking this tour of 4000 Sapphire. We're so excited to show it to you. So give us a call, DM, text, email, whatever it is you want to do to give us a shout so we could show you this on a private COVID tour. Take care.
Yeah, buddy. Going through the motions. Oh, let's see. Get our buddy Tory in here. Let's do this up right. There we are. Welcome back to Late Night Playset. It's Tuesdays with Tory, as we do every Tuesday here in the Playset. And tonight is July 28th, 2020. My name is Jay Ryan, and right over here next to me is Mr. Tory Alonzo. What's up, brother?
Magic of technology. What's going on, man? Good to be here.
Oh, it's great to be here. This is the first time today I'm not staring at my phone, and I was doing it until seconds ago. So I'm very happy to be here. I'm very happy to be with you. I'm very happy to be with you at home here in the Playset. And I'm just happy to be off my phone. So I'm going to put that far, far away. Hopefully we won't need it this episode.
Right. It's a nice break.
What's shaking, brother? What's shaking? How's your day? How's your week been? All the stuff,
man. Kind of low key and chill. Been working on the 906 video that we're trying to get done. So I've been working with a friend of mine, Bob Hogue, who's doing the music. He's actually doing like an original score for me on it.
This is one of your heritage films that you work on too, though, right? So what is this one that we're talking about specifically?
So this one's going to be kind of like a Petrolicious style video of the 906, and it's going to be accompanying the 906 on display. Like Ray Shaffer's going to have it on a little monitor, because there's so many things with this car
while it's down at Porsche.
While it's on display. Yeah. So it's going to be on this little monitor, and it's basically getting into all the details of the car that he doesn't really have the wall space or whatever to provide for that. So
what's it called?
And I've wanted. What's that?
What's the piece called? Doesn't have it.
So the video is called Old Soul. And it's gonna be cool. Like I'm excited about the direction it's going. I don't want to give too much away because I want to be able to show it, once it's all done or whatever. But it's all the footage that we shot at the raceway back in June, and then we shot some stuff around where I live on some rural roads, and it's a buddy of mine, Matthew Little, who's a photographer, that's helping me out with this. It was actually his idea originally. He was like, "Look, if you ever want to do like a really good video of the car, I'd love to help out," which was awesome because I don't know anyone that does like video stuff around here. So he got all these guys that do, like really cool drone shots, and he had a hookup at the the Pittsburgh International Raceway that, we were able to get the track basically private to ourselves that one day, which was
Oh,
really,
that's
really
how you were
nice.
able to work that.
Yeah, Matthew
Nice.
Little has connections there. I think he does a lot of stuff with other like car videos and stuff and he's trying to kind of like this other company that he's working with is kind of trying to up their game as far as videos and stuff. So maybe
Okay.
they're going to get into that realm, which would be really cool. So that's what we did. And now we're into the part. So the basic edit of the film is done. The video is all done. And my friend Bob Hogue, he's a music producer. He records bands in Phoenix. He's a pretty big deal in Phoenix. He's like a local kind of indie rock kind of guy.
Okay.
And he was in a band originally as well, that was pretty popular in Pittsburgh, and then they moved out to Phoenix, and I think they did some stuff out there as well. Well, now he has this studio and he records bands and does music and stuff. And he was like, "Please tell me you're not going to just put catalog and music in this thing." He was like,
Production
"Because
music.
yeah, because I've shown him like clips, and he's like, man, this is like worthy of like a real score." I was like, "I'd love to put a real score in it, but I can't afford to pay anybody for that. I mean, this is just something we're, kind of doing just for the heck of it." And he's like, "I'll do it if you just let me." He was like, I'll put together a score." So literally the last week we've been working on this score together, and I mean, I knew he was talented, but watching him work on this has been insane because it's like I will tell him, he'll be like, "Okay, we broke the film up into like 4 or 5 different sections." And he was like, "Okay, tell me what you're trying to convey here," and I was like, "Well, I'd like it to be like kind of triumphant, but like a little nostalgic." And then like, boom, like, we would go back and forth. And then like by the end of the day, he's got this section completely done. And it's like everything that we were trying to convey. It's insane. Like
Oh man, that's so cool. People who can communicate in different mediums like that is so awesome to me.
it's really cool. And like he and I are definitely like I knew what I was trying to convey with the film, and he knew what needed to be conveyed with the music. So we matched up really well there because he would kind of quiz me on what I thought the mood that we were going for this section was, and it always matched what he said too. So like we both were totally simpatico with this thing, which was
You
awesome
were
and
riding the
made it a
emotions of
really
the thing.
yeah. And dude, it's a roller coaster. Let me tell you, like it's really good. Like I
Oh
think you'll
man,
really enjoy it. I'm excited about it. So I'm
I can't wait
hoping
to see
this
it.
week it'll be done. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be really cool. So
What's the runtime about? Is it like
8 minutes
3 minutes?
with the credits. Like
Beautiful.
with the credits, it's 8 minutes. Yeah, I wanted
Sweet.
it to be like a little shorter than that, but there was just we had cut it way down, and I felt like cutting anything else out would kind of ruin some of the transitions that we had because the way I've edited this thing, it's kind of seamless. Like you go on this ride with the car and the history and why I connected with it, and so it really worked out. So we really couldn't cut anything
Oh
else out of
man,
it. So
I can't
eight
wait.
minutes. Yeah, the music's amazing though. I can't wait for everyone to hear the music. It's really cool. So it'll be a fun ride.
Well, I have seen still photography from this shoot, from the same shoot they got the video from, or one of those days anyway, the racetrack days. I'm specifically talking about. The still photography is just it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful, but it almost looks like period photography because you're in. I don't want to give stuff away either, but like you sell the whole picture, and I can't wait to have moving imagery along with a soundtrack to go
You're
with
gonna
those
dig
photos.
it.
It's
If you like the
really
period
excited.
stuff, you're gonna dig it. It'll be cool. And it's cool because like what even like our video aside, it's funny, like I'm starting to see all these other videos that are kind of that style of Petrolicious stuff. Like there's one that
What do you
Russ
mean
at
when you
Fiber
say that?
Steel.
Because it's almost not fair to just always refer to the Petrolicious video. What do you mean when you say that?
Well, they just kind of set the bar as far as like beautiful car videos. I feel like
Okay.
like that bar was really high with them. I mean,
See,
they
for me, I
really
go back to Top Gear before that, and then I would say, oh, Petrolicious started doing these little vignettes that almost look like a segment from Top Gear in the old
well,
days.
definitely. But I mean, you're talking, TV production budget versus, the
Yeah.
everyman internet budget or whatever. And like people are really starting to step up their game. So like there's one that Russ had done with fiber steel of his 550 Spider. That's beautiful. If you haven't seen it, it's really, really good. Just put in like fiber steel 550 on YouTube and it should come up. But it's a really pretty film. Like they show him in the canyons and kind of how he got started. Of course, it was Volkswagens like most Porsche guys, and it's a really good video if you haven't seen it yet. So check that out. But it's cool to see all these other people kind of stepping up their game and making these beautiful films. But I tell you what, this has really shown me how much effort goes into a really, really good video. Because I mean, we've spent probably a week alone just on the music. I mean, it's been a lot.
Yeah, and you've been
For 8 minutes.
had multiple days of shooting over multiple weeks, just
Yeah.
capturing for the film.
Yeah, it's been a lot, but I hope everyone connects with it when they see it. I mean, I think it'll be really cool. So, I mean, I could go on and on about it, but it's
This is something I just want to. This is totally inappropriate for in the middle of your story, but I just want to say a shout out to Mr. Michael Dolphin, who's a huge Porsche guy here in the Los Angeles community. If you have a Porsche out here, you know him already. Anyway, he lost his mom last week. We just found out about it today. I sent him a text earlier. He responded now. Love to you, Mike Dolphin. Gosh darn it. We knew mom was going. She was 92. We knew she was ill for a long time, but just
Doesn't
so
make it
sorry,
any
brother. We
easier.
love you. We love you. We love you. Good vibes all around. He said, love to you both. You read, eat the same. Thanks for the note. Ah, good guy. Such a good guy. Sorry about that.
no, all good, man.
But it
All
was
good.
it was Porsche related, so I had to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I was pretty much done talking about the video anyway. I mean, hopefully by the end of the week we'll have something. Some people at Haggerty have kind of taken an interest into what we're putting together, so we'll see what happens there. And then,
Based on what I know about the project, I feel like Haggerty would be a really good sponsor.
perfect
They'd be a good partner for this release.
yeah, perfect fit. I mean, the message that I kind of send in a couple of the segments is exactly what they're going for. So, yeah, it's cool. And then I think I told you I got accepted to this Peterson virtual concours.
Yes, and
which is cool.
It's funny because I told you one day your shit's going to be out here. No, it's virtually, of course, first.
Virtually, it is.
What
but
happens? How does it all work?
So I don't really know. So the deadline was like a month ago or something, and this was the first year I think they've had a TV and film car category. So I was like, oh, that's perfect. Like, let me see, because I mean I don't really know what other category it would fit in. It has to be a film or TV car kind of thing. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, well, what have I got to lose? I might as well do it. Car's about done. So I submitted for it just with a still photo, and then they got back to me and they're like, okay, we're reviewing everything. If you make it to the next round, we just ask that you submit like a 90-second video on it. I was like, okay, cool. So a week later, I got the acceptance letter, and then they're like, we need a 90-second video. I guess they're probably going to show them like on the internet or whatever during each class, I would assume. And then the judges just vote based on the video or whatever. So I was like, okay, cool. I was like, we've got all this footage. That's great. But what they wanted was like, basically walking around the car and pointing out certain features on the car.
They want to review your own car, right?
Yeah, and we didn't do that at all. Like, I mean, I was able to like Carl, the guy who's doing the editing and stuff with me. I was like, look, this is what we need. I was like, just stitch something together. It doesn't have to be great. We'll put catalog music in it for that. I don't really care. I was like, but there's some pretty racing shots. I was like, let's at least get those in there or whatever. So I mean, it's really amateur looking video just because it's like there's no sense of like story or anything with it, but it's what they asked for.
Just beauty shots.
And so I sent that to them and they were like blown away. They loved it. And I was like, you really should see the full film when it's done. And they're like, please send it to us as soon as it's done. Like, we'd love to see the whole film. I was like, well, it's 8 minutes, so you're not going to be able to play that, but you'll know how it was so hard for us to cut together 90 seconds, when you see the whole 8 minutes. Because I mean, I storyboarded this thing essentially because I wanted to, I wanted certain shots to mimic certain other things. So
I already know where you're going.
You know what I
love
mean.
it. I love yes, but that's why I'm so excited to see it. I'm so excited for everybody else to see it. Yeah.
I'm excited. Well, it's everyone always asks on Instagram, like anytime I'll post a photo of the car or something, I get the same questions, a million same questions or whatever. So it'd be nice to be able to just send people to this video and be like, here's everything on the car. Like, go check it out. You'll dig it. So it'll be cool. I'm excited.
Gosh, do you remember the dates of when that's going to be in Porsche in Atlanta? Because I'm thinking that might be a nice segue into our next segment here.
Ray would know exactly. I don't know. The car's getting picked up any day.
Who should we ask?
Let's ask Ray Shaffer.
What a great segue. Let us spin the camera around over here and see what we can do to check in with our good friend, Mr. Ray Shaffer. Are you there, Ray? Is he there? His thing's frozen. There he is.
Nice vase.
No, that's Ray's it's from the Ming Dynasty. There's Ray Shaffer and his 59 representing Brumos. Hello, Ray.
Look at Ray repping the Monaco poster in the back. Look at you, man.
Oh, we can't hear you. Can we hear you, Ray?
Uh-oh.
I can't
Ray got
hear him
no
at all.
sound.
Oh, it might be me. Maybe it's me.
Oh.
No, it's not me. You're muted. You're unmuted.
Oh, no. No sound,
We
Ray.
can't hear you, Ray. Womp, 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 womp,
I don't
womp,
understand the
womp,
words that are coming out of your mouth.
Well, that doesn't work.
Oh, no.
We can't hear you, Ray. Can you hear us? Give us a thumbs up. He's got a yeah, all right.
Ray can hear us. We can't hear Ray.
Well, Ray, can you leave the room and come back in, maybe?
Try that. If you can hear us, Ray, just go out of the room and then come back in. Maybe the audio's weird.
He checked out. He checked out, and
all right, cool.
And we'll see if he checks back in here.
It was a beautiful vase.
All right. Now, how about this? No, we can't hear you now. Oh wait, there you are.
Is he there?
Oh no, that was Tory saying, "Oh no."
Yeah, no, that was me. Oh no.
What a funny thing. Ray, do you by any chance have anything muted on your side? Because I have an option to mute you on my side, and it's not muted. And I can mute you just to double check, and then I'll unmute you. No. I think maybe batteries in his microphone. Wow, it's awfully clear. It was crystal clear. What a nice feed we had with him.
Dang it.
Well, I have a feeling he may get that going because we spent so much time on his shot earlier. It would be a real shame to not have it work out.
It looks lovely. It looks lovely. And he would know when my car is like going to be on display. I honestly don't even know. I have no idea when that exhibit opens. So.
He mentioned it last time. I think he said it was the end of August. It's coming up, isn't it? I think it's coming up.
I think it's earlier than the end of August. Actually, it may be like. I think the car. I think he said they're staging August 8th, if I'm not mistaken.
What a great time, Tory! Look behind you. They're knocking on your door right now.
The reliable truck is.
They're out at the barn.
As we speak. That's funny.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah. Well,
hopefully
I have a feeling he may put it back together here.
Okay,
can I talk to you real quick about Pinstripe Chris, who was here on Thursday?
Dude, that guy is wicked talented.
So you
watch
saw
his
that episode?
Instagram
Okay.
live thing last night? Oh yeah, I watched that.
I did. I saw it this morning. I didn't watch it last night. All right, I wanted to talk about that guy, and isn't that guy right up our alley? The way he does things and everything else.
He totally is. Yeah.
Did you see the Herbie picture he did?
Yeah. I actually commented on that. Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
God, for some kid that his wife takes care of.
Wow, that's
Isn't that amazing? It wasn't even.
So you want to know something crazy? So I was talking to my friend Bill, who has the other 906 that you met at the Malibu Kitchen.
Yes.
And he knows Chris because Chris did one of those Sharpie art things on one of his friend's vans. He's like, "Oh, I know Pinstripe Chris." He was
You're
like,
kidding
he does
me.
a lot of he does renderings for this guy that builds like these really, really like high dollar custom cars in the valley. Like, yeah, it's crazy.
Can we hear you, Ray?
Ray.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes, success. Ray.
Through the magic of the reboot.
That's awesome, dude. All about the reboot.
Look at us all lined up here. All right,
That's
contestant
awesome.
number 1. I would like to ask you.
Sorry about that. You know, despite all the problem with the sound, I actually could hear what you guys were talking about. And is it any surprise that Tory's got all this going on? I mean, you've seen his Bug documentary, right?
Yes, it's one of my all-time favorites. Is it just called Bug? The People's Car
It's called
Bug?
The Bug, Life and Times of the People's Car.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's actually one of my favorite car documentaries, period.
Aw, well, thank you. I wish I could take credit for it. Like I was just a small part of it, but yeah, we worked hard on that thing. It was fun.
It was a good film. It was a good film. And so I'm not surprised to hear about all the detail issues that you're working through on the 906 piece, because I know that's you should be making films.
Oh, thanks, Ray. I tell you what, man, I'm so OCD. I don't know if I have. I would never get them done in time. Like if there was any sort of a time frame, I would just be so like focused on the minutia of this or that or whatever else. I mean, there's things that are already going to bug me about this 906 movie that like they're too late to fix at this point. So it's like I don't know. I mean, I know you know, you hear filmmakers talk about like at some point you just have to like throw it out to the world and it's done.
That's right.
You know, but like I don't know, my OCD can't handle that. Like,
Hit the send button.
yeah, I know. But I think it'll play really well in the Heritage Gallery because there's going to be so many details that like you just didn't have the room to put up, you know, or the wall space for. So like people will actually be able to park in front of the car and then like watch it in action, get the details on it, find out the history about it. I think they'll really dig that. So I'm excited that
thank you for doing all that. I appreciate that very much. It's nice when you have your friends that you know make movies and do have friends that can score them for them and everything. I mean, that's
great. Really cool. Yeah, you know what, it takes a village, and we've had a really, really good one working on this. It's been really nice. Everybody's kind of, you know, connected with the film, and they're kind of inserting their, you know, their expertise into it. So it's been great. It's been a really, really fun process.
It's funny, Ray, when Tory was telling that part earlier, all that came to mind, of course, when he was talking about, oh, hey, we should, of course it needs a nice score. Oh, maybe I'll do it for you. What came to mind, of course, immediately was you and Cam and Fresh Brewed and Air Cooled, and, of course, Mr. John Oates, who did your theme song in a similar type of situation there. Ray, bringing it over to you, can we talk about some of the stuff you've got going on? Maybe, I know there's another episode of Fresh Brewed and Air Cooled coming up. Do you want to talk about that? You want to start with how your day was? We can pick it up wherever you want.
Well, you know, it's the days are interesting because you know, working from the home office. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner, the view's kind of the same. Although I did run out yesterday. I had enough of the peanut butter and banana sandwiches that I've been making, you know, here in the home office cafeteria, because I'm not really a cook. And if you remember the casino we had at the PEC Atlanta, they have a pretty good food option there, a couple of good food options. And so I'm not used to this. So I decided that I was going to phone in an order for Five Guys and get something a little bit out of the unusual, out of the ordinary for me. And, you know, it was interesting when I went in to pick it up, you do everything on your phone, you pay for it, and then all you have to do is go in there and grab it and leave. And when I showed up there, they have all the tables and chairs taken out, and there's just because all you can do is pick it up. So they have all the tables and chairs taken out, but they have these dots on the ground that show everybody where to stand. Mm-hmm. And so you walk in and you shout your name, and if your order's ready, they just hand you the bag and you leave.
Oh my
and
God.
If it's not ready, you have to stand there and wait for them to hand you the bag. And as I was going through this, it started to come into my mind. Your friend who wrote that special episode, right, of Seinfeld back in the 90s, of the guy doling out the scoop.
Are you talking about Spike Ferriston? Of course, yeah. Well, it's funny, you know. Go ahead.
I said we used to talk about. We had a lot of Seinfeld fans at Brumos in the showroom, and so we would always, whenever a situation would be similar to what was on the show, we would always reference it. And we knew every episode inside and out because we were watching it over and over and over again. And so it just went through my mind when I went to pick up my lunch yesterday that I'm in that episode.
It's pretty funny. Awesome. We, we're up at Malibu Kitchen all the time, which for anybody who doesn't know is, I mean, there was a guy in New York who sold soup, but the guy is sort of based on Bill, of course, which most people probably could put together. We joke about it every Sunday when we're over there about how, like, secretly, Bill has been nicer than ever. So this is nothing again, but he does have a reputation. And then secretly, this must be like perfect for him because it's the same thing. There's the dots on the floor. Everybody has to follow the rules. No exceptions. No substitutions on the how the burrito is. You want the breakfast sandwich or you want the burrito. That's it. If you want one, order it. Go wait outside. It's really, really interesting because he would have preferred it, I think, if we had all adhered to that stuff anyway. And then now we really get to kind of crack the whip. It's awesome. Yeah. And it's funny. I think he's really happier because of it. I think he's genuinely happier.
Well, I was happy to get something other than a peanut butter banana sandwich for lunch. So it was pretty good.
You and Elvis.
I bet.
Yeah, right.
That's awesome. I love Five Guys. Five Guys is really good. It's funny. All my friends in California that love In-N-Out flip out over Five Guys. Like for them, they want what they can't have. Like, is there not a lot of Five Guys out in California?
I don't know. There are a few out here. All I know is I was actually living back east when they came out, and they started taking over all of my favorite like diners, like the old-fashioned like Greek diners, like a bacon, egg, and cheese diner, or if you want a pastrami sandwich diner. So I didn't particularly care for them, and then somebody said, "Oh no, it's like the best burger in the world," and I can't remember how. Whatever. I ended up somehow like just tasting one, or maybe we had it one time or whatever. And it was pretty exceptional. It was pretty damn good, and I don't really get it because it's just a hamburger. Like I didn't get anything special on it. It wasn't. I don't really like that. I like to just give me the bare bones. I don't know. Good meat, good seasoning. I don't know what it was. Good griddle. I don't know. I really liked it, and I don't care for In-N-Out, so I would happily have Five Guys.
Yeah, the fries are ridiculous too. I love the fries there because they like double fry them. They'll like put them in and then they take them out, and then like whenever you order, then they put them back in again. I think the second time, and then of course if you order a small, you end up with an extra large because they put like 2 extra scoops in. So I learned that right off the bat. Just order a small fry. Either way.
Do either of you like the In-N-Out fries? I've never been a fan myself. I'm just curious.
They're just kind of meh. I mean,
yeah, me too. Yeah. I know there's people who absolutely love them, but not it.
No.
I mean, let's be honest. The French fry is just a delivery vehicle for the ketchup. So
right.
Okay. So you're a ketchup guy. I'm a mayo guy. I got that Canadian in me somehow. Yeah, isn't that disgusting?
Oh, that's
Can you think of anything more disgusting than putting your fried potato into more fried egg sauce?
That's hilarious. No, I'm a ranch guy. I like to dip my fries in ranch.
That might be worse than mayo.
It might be. Yeah, that's a bad habit I picked up in Texas. Yeah, and it's just never left.
I used to know people who would dip their pizza in ranch. Have you ever seen that?
Oh yeah, that's
like a slice
thing.
of pizza.
Yeah.
That also is disgustingly good.
Yeah, it's anything with ranch is good. You kidding me?
Oh my goodness. All right, Ray Shaffer, Fresh Brewed and Air Cooled, back to you. We've got a new episode coming up soon, right? Can you tell us about
it? Yeah, this weekend. We're excited. We talked with Brian Redmond, and this Saturday we're going to release that conversation, and it's spectacular. Brian is a wonderful storyteller. We wanted to focus specifically on the 50th anniversary of the 1970 Targa Florio win. A lot of people know this year as the 50th anniversary of the 917, the first overall 24-hour victory for Porsche at Le Mans, and in the 917, of course. But at the same time, and Tory, I know you probably are into all this as well. But when Porsche was developing and building this 917 model and the variations that they had of it, different racetracks, they also built the 908-3, which basically was just built for a handful. Basically 2 tracks, the Nürburgring and the Targa Florio. The only reason why they built that car. And it entered 4 times and it won 3. And I mean, it's a heck of a record for a car, but it's just an amazing machine, and the people that drove it even more amazing. So back in May, when the 50th anniversary weekend was actually on, I think Cam and I talked about it on a live stream. And we just had such an amazing time doing the research on the Targa Florio and what an amazing event, how insane the event really was. I mean, it's one of the oldest races in the world, dating back in, I want to say it's like 1906 or 1907, if I remember correctly. So it's older than the Indy 500 and the Le Mans 24-hour. So it's very similar to the Monaco Grand Prix. When you look at that today, and you see a modern F1 car going around that circuit, you think that's crazy. Whoever came up with this idea? You go all the way back to the beginning, and you realize, well, the cars weren't that fast back when they decided to have that event. There's just all this tradition. Well, the same thing happened with the Targa Florio. So by the time you get to the early 1970s, and you have these purpose-built prototypes running along these country roads, which are normally for donkey carts and people going to work in the fields and what have you. I mean, there are obviously roads where some cars were traveling on and what have you, but you're racing prototypes around them. It's like, it was basically like Group B rally racing was in the 80s. It's what you had with the Targa Florio in the 70s.
Wow.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's really so cool.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
That's all near and dear to my heart for sure. Like that stuff. And I delve into that in a little video that I get into too. So you'll dig that. Yeah. But yeah, those guys were that was insane.
They were gladiators.
They really were. And yeah,
it's a shame, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No. We're good.
I was going to say it's a shame that back in those days when those guys were racing, if I'm sure there is footage or photographs and everything, but what wouldn't have been possible is like an in-camera shot, an in-car shot where like you could see what those guys had to go through in that car to do that stuff back then. Because it's nuts when you watch, the guys nowadays with all the little in-car cams, and they've got all sorts of buttons, and they're changing suspension settings and aero settings and everything, all live while they're racing and everything. Mm-hmm. And I think of, that's just absolutely amazing. But think about the physical manual work they were doing, pulling levers and doing different things back in the old days. Is there any way to know what that was like? Is there a documentary? Is there footage? Is there anything?
There is some in-car footage that was from a practice. I think it was from 1970 when Brian Redman was in a 914.6, and it was just a street car that they were running to learn the circuit. And he actually talks a little bit about this the first time going there and going around the track. During the weekday, it's not really it's not a track. It's public roads. And imagine driving down from Stuttgart. You get down, and you're down now in Italy, and you're at the circuit, which is about 45 miles, I think, at this point. The circuit that they had set up, but it's all connected public roads. So you show up, you don't know the track. You want to try and learn it so that when you get there to the weekend and to the actual event, and it's time to run, you have an idea of which way it goes. And he talks about, he says, you never really learn the track. You just kind of know where there's some trouble areas, basically, and you hope you remember them. But you show there's no GPS. There's no way to know that you're going around the right track. You're asking villagers and people on the side of the road, which way does the track go?
Holy
and then
smokes.
Trying to learn it that way. Yeah, but if you go on YouTube, I think you might find a little bit of that 914.6 with Brian Redman if you just put that in Targa Florio,
sure.
Brian Redman.
Pedal shots are always my favorite. Like when you see the footwork that goes into keeping that thing on the road, and just the minute inputs that they would it's just amazing. Just I could just watch just the pedal shots for a race. It's crazy.
So you're the same way. You get it. Like you want to see how they're doing it all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I mean it's like a ballet almost. When you watch them do that, it's insane.
There's a really interesting piece when you watch the conversation. I was really curious about Brian's thought process of going through a lap. How do you work that through as a driver? Do you talk yourself through each corner? How do you do that? Every driver has different.
Uh-oh. Well, he froze as a droid this time.
Oh, there he goes.
Oh, there he is.
And he's back.
You're back.
Okay. Brain freeze.
All good, man. You gotta stop eating those Slurpees while we're doing the show. Man.
I know. Anyway, I don't know how much of that you heard, but basically, it's a fascinating conversation. If you can be on Instagram live with Road Scholars at 11 a.m. on Saturday here on the East Coast time, then Cam and I will introduce that, and then we'll have the full conversation available to watch. So make yourself a fresh brewed cup of coffee and join us.
That's awesome. I cannot wait, man. I gotta tell you, like last weekend I was a little bummed when you were like, "No, we're gonna, we're skipping a weekend. We're working on this other one right now." I was like, "Oh, what am I gonna drink my coffee to now? Like, I gotta find some on YouTube to watch now. That's gonna
reruns
tie me over exactly." But no, cool. That'll be awesome, man. That'll be really
Ray. Can
cool.
you give a shout out about that mug you just held up too?
Yeah, this is my new Brumos mug that Michael Allen Ross was kind enough. Do you know Michael Allen Ross? If you read Porsche Panorama 000, you've probably seen his work. His photography is fabulous, and his Instagram account. He's got a mug collection that he posts every morning on his Instagram stories. His morning mug, and they're all these Porsche style mugs, and they're fabulous. And of course, he makes the right. He's not using a Keurig machine. He's doing the proper blend.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
But he sent that to you just the other day, and you've been using it on Fresh Brewed Air Cooled.
Yeah, that's it. This is the actual one from the show.
Ah, very nice. Authentic.
Look at the crossover that we have going on here.
That's awesome.
And a coaster to protect the wood, because Ray does respect chairs and wood of all sorts.
You heard that right there. It is.
Oh, Ray, I'm about to one up you, son. Look at this. Look at what we got here. Oh,
Winner.
man.
Oh, is that a Fuchs?
It is a
Porsche Classic.
Porsche Classic, son. What you know about that? I got you beat. That's how I roll.
You win.
Ray, there was something else that we wanted to talk to you about before you leave, and it had to do with a live stream coming up. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, another really cool opportunity. We're heading into the Porsche Experience Center Atlanta tomorrow night. We had an invitation from the Porsche Club Chile to do a live stream walkthrough of the entire facility. So I get to start in the Heritage Gallery and talk about the exhibits that we have there now. And then we'll do the tour of the entire facility. So yeah, I actually get a chance to go back in to One Porsche Drive tomorrow. I'm really excited about that. Maybe if I'm lucky, I'll actually get to eat dinner there.
Nice. How long has it been since you've actually been there on premises?
I've been back a couple of times for some filming we've done in the Heritage Gallery. So one here, one there, maybe once a month since March. Since we got out in March, and then I went back in probably in May or June, and then once a month.
Wow,
that's crazy. Hey Ray, can you tell us when the exhibit changeover is? Jay asked me, and I actually don't even know.
Yeah, actually, it'll open to the public for those who have an appointment to the PEC Atlanta for a drive experience. We'll have a chance to go in and see starting on August 11th. It's Tuesday, August 11th, and that'll run through early to mid-January 2021.
Cool.
Great.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's going to be really fun.
It is.
I know there's a lot of there's a lot of surprises too, right?
There are, and we'll do, I think we'll need to go in and do a walk around for you guys so that we have a backstage pass for you since it's not easy to get on a plane right now and come and walk in. And of course, there's a very special stunt double that's going to be in there that we need to show off.
I know who you're talking. I know what you're referring to.
Well, I'm excited to share it finally because it's I always feel guilty having a car that's kind of like iconic like that, or like when I owned Herbie. It's like I always felt guilty about not getting it out enough and like showing people. I'm sure you can relate to that, Jay, with the time machine DeLorean that you used to have. And
nope, we were always out plenty.
Like, no, I did that enough.
We were never not out.
Well, I mean, you're in LA too, so it's a lot easier. You get a lot of easier gigs. But I mean, for me being in Western PA in the middle of nowhere, like, it's harder to get the car where people want to see it, So I'm happy to share it in Atlanta 100%. Where people can check it out. That'll be cool. I'm excited. The timing on that was uncanny. So
yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
It's cool. A neat behind the scenes that people can really see the trouble that a movie studio goes through to make an authentic looking movie. And I mean, the storyline, all the history that we have on how your car was built in order to get that proper effect, people need to see that up close. We have other cars, and when I can talk more about the ones that are in there, there's some other sort of movie magic in there as well. And so it just goes to show you that it's not just the makeup for the actors or the costumes for the actors. It also applies to the cars that are in the movie as well. And so there's a story to tell there that we're looking forward to sharing.
Amen.
Outstanding. I love it, Ray Shaffer. I love you too.
Thank you guys. Love you guys. Appreciate you doing this.
I'm glad we got the technical difficulties out of the way. It's funny, nobody else knows is we set up that shot for like 20 minutes earlier. Audio was never a problem.
That's always how it goes.
That's how it is. Well,
it looks fantastic, Ray.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate that. You guys are great. Keep having fun and sharing the Porsche passion. And I look forward to talking with you guys again real soon.
Thank you, Ray Shaffer. And we'll see you on Saturday on Fresh Brewed and Air Cooled on Instagram at 8 and 11, depending on your coast.
Awesome.
Have a great night, Ray.
Take care, guys.
Bye, Ray.
Bye.
Good stuff.
Oh, stuff. Well, I'm glad we got that worked out.
Me too. I just love that guy. Listen to me. All right, what's next? Got that out of the way.
What rabbit holes have you been down lately, Jay?
That's right.
I went back and watched that Mr. Bean clip, by the way.
What's that?
I went back and watched that Mr. Bean clip that you were talking about.
So did I.
It's actually pretty funny. I hadn't seen that movie in years, dude. And I went back and watched it. I was like, that's pretty good. He's such like a physical comedy guy. Like
Rowan Atkinson was
unreal.
amazing. All right, so for anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, we had Pinstripe Chris on the show the other day, and he was talking about somehow he made a comment about blah blah blah. If you're not really that into it doesn't matter. But he described like painting someone's grandmother and having them hanging on the wall and having it be absolutely wrong. And all that came to my mind was this scene from a movie from the 90s, early 90s maybe, Mr. Bean with Rowan Atkinson and Peter McNichol, who, by the way, is the best part of that movie for me. He is just so funny, the guy from Ally McBeal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And anyway, so that's what we're referring to. Pinstripe Chris sent me a message afterwards, like, by the way, you totally undersold Mr. Bean. He was like, it wasn't that bad at all. I was like, really? Okay.
That's funny. That's hilarious. Yeah, I actually went on YouTube and like had to go see that scene again. It was really funny. It's pretty good.
Did you remember did you remember it from back then?
I did. I didn't remember it as being as funny back then as when I went and revisited it. Like the whole bit with the table where he's got like the thing covered up and it looks like a tablecloth. He's like
making the squeaky wheel.
Yeah. It's freaking ridiculous, dude. Yeah, it was good. Yeah,
awful.
No, it was good.
Oh my gosh. It's really just a bunch of sketches, right? Like they just wrote a bunch of sketches for Mr. Bean and they just string them together in a script.
Totally.
All right. Well, thanks for telling me that. My rabbit holes are surprisingly more embarrassing. And I'm going to start out by saying I'm just not going to become a NASCAR fan, so don't worry. Let's just start there.
Okay.
But because of YouTube and look at me twidgeting. I don't even want to admit this. I'm so embarrassed, and I don't know why.
Are we going to pull your Porsche card after this?
No, you may have to. No, but the YouTube, remember it got me on the Days of Thunder documentary and then something else.
Which was fantastic, by the way.
Totally enjoyed it also. But you go down that rabbit hole, and then one thing leads to another, and now the thing is recommending, NASCAR stuff, like real NASCAR stuff, not the movie, like clips, highlights from real races and stuff. And
wow.
I'm not interested. I'm just not interested in NASCAR. I don't like NASCAR. I used to like NASCAR when I was a kid, when my dad had a Buick Regal Grand National, whatever. And those are the kinds of cars, like it looked like my dad's car. Like Dale Earnhardt used to have a Wrangler.
Like a stock car. Yeah, of course.
When they were stock cars, All right.
Yeah, and the Luminas and all that stuff. Yeah.
All the old stuff. That's when I liked it. And then Days of Thunder was kind of like, oh, look at they're the newer cars, and kind of lost interest after that.
Yeah.
All right. So there's something called, I'm just going to jump right into it. There's something called Radioactive, okay? It's just called Radioactive. And it's probably on, I don't know what the YouTube channel is. It's probably NASCAR on Fox or something like that. It probably is legitimately that. But if you just look up Radioactive, and what it is active radios. Has nothing to do with nuclear. So basically, all right,
like the car-to-car communication or the pit-to-car communication.
Yeah. So here's what it is. It's like a whole 3-hour NASCAR race in 5 minutes, because it's only the highlights. But instead of listening to the announcers and the whatever the fuck and blah blah blah, you're listening only to all of the drivers and pit crews and officials. It's only radio audio. So you're watching like a highlight reel.
Come on, Billy Bob. Yeah.
Kind of, but the thing is, it's much better than what I'm describing. You couldn't do, I think, what I'm talking about live. It would have to be after, because it's not like only one team. It's everybody. Like you'll have the 18 car talking about the 43 car, and the 43 car responding to the 18 car.
But going on and stuff.
Bro, it's a whole story. They do it really well. So I've
strategy and
seen like 25 of these things, because I went down one and I was like, what the hell was that? I can't believe I like that. And then let it run into the next one. Anytime it auto plays into them now, I haven't seen this one. Let's see what happened this race. I don't know.
Darlington 1996. I haven't seen this one.
No, they're not that old. Unfortunately, they're all the current race. Not fortunately or unfortunately, they're all the current races, which is, I can tell you a lot of the guys now. I know a lot of their names.
That's hilarious.
I can't believe I embarrassingly told this to Nicole the other day, and we were having dinner, and I said, put one on and go, I'm not. It's only 5 minutes, so don't worry about it. But I go, I'm so embarrassed to show you that I've totally gotten into these. Yeah. And there was one, and it was some of them are really dramatic, because like, you know how races are, stuff happens. Yeah. So I mean, there are crashes, there are that guy's a dick, there are revenge things, just like Cole Trickle when he crashes Russ Wheeler into the wall.
Right.
He's destroyed both my cars. You're fired. He's fired. You're all fired.
Yeah.
Anyway, check it out. Radioactive. It's probably NASCAR on Fox. I don't know. I'm embarrassed, but yet they're really, really good. They're really, really good. It's high quality for what it is, and it won't get me into NASCAR. I can't see myself spending 4 hours on a Sunday, watching one of these races. But they are really entertaining, and that was only half of my confession. The other one is also related to NASCAR, but now we're going to get back into Forza.
Oh, no way.
All I do, like, if I ever need to either break what I'm thinking about or focus on whatever, I'll literally just go do some racing on the Xbox for a little bit. And I don't mean like with on not Forza Horizon. I mean like go to Motorsport, set up a legit race with everybody on the highest setting. Yeah. To make you really focus on doing shit.
Yeah.
No fucking around, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I dialed into I was like, well, I think they've got, I know I've driven around Daytona on the road course in this. I think you can do an alternate.
Oh, they have NASCAR
oval
races on Forza for sure. No, you went full NASCAR
so
on Forza?
I had a bunch of cars that I've won over time, or you collect them. You know what I mean? I've never bought a NASCAR. Yeah, but I had a whole bunch of them. So sure enough, I did them all up in the Days of Thunder liveries, straight up and down. I've got the mellow yellow. I got the Superflow car. I've got the City Chevrolet car. I think I might have Rowdy Burns' Exxon car too, whatever that was.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Anyway, and then I've been doing the NASCAR. You can do Homestead, which is an oval, and you can do Daytona, which is obviously a tri-oval. And there's at least one more. Oh, Indianapolis. You can do Indy, which of course they do sometimes run the NASCARs on, which does seem a crying shame. But that track is just so awesome that it's fun and anything. Yeah. It's really weird. You're just all out, hammered down the whole time. Just find a line. It's about keeping the speed up. And about
momentum,
baby.
It's
a totally the opposite of what we typically like and what a canyon drive would be and everything else. But I do find myself going, quit going so fast, Jay. You're going to burn up the damn tires.
It's hilarious. Oh, loser. Man.
Such a loser. I'm so embarrassed to tell you that stuff. But it is all 100% honest. And you can check both my YouTube queue and my Xbox play history, and it's totally true. And here's the thing, I'm enjoying the hell out of both of them, because what the hell, I'm not going to be life into either one, but as something different for a couple weeks or whatever, it totally hit the spot. The spot.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
well, I went down a similar rabbit hole. I don't know if you call it as embarrassing, but it was definitely something I've revisited since I saw them originally, and a couple of them were surprisingly good. I went on this Fast and Furious binge, which was kind of cool. You know what? From the very start, I've always said that they got progressively. This is obvious. They get progressively less about cars and racing. The cars are still a big deal in the movies, but there's no semblance of street racing anymore in those films. It's like a spy movie now, or
somewhere in the middle of the run, they became the Transporter series.
Yeah, it's something completely different now.
Like Team Knight Rider meets the Transporter.
Yeah, for sure. And so so I watched the first two again, and I gotta say I enjoyed them, and it's
so
funny.
Let's do it. The first one obviously is Fast and the Furious. That's the one out here where we meet Paul Walker and Vin Diesel and the families and the Toretto's Market, all that stuff, right?
Yeah, but the green Eclipse and the Supra. Yeah.
But doesn't 2 jump right to Miami, and is it still Paul Walker and maybe Tyrese?
Correct. Dude, you nailed it. Yeah. So 2 Fast, 2 Furious, and I actually had friends that worked on that film. 2
Fast, 2 Furious.
Yeah, it was 2 Fast, 2 Furious, and that was in Miami. And I posted a thing on my Instagram stories how well that intro still holds up to this day. And it's funny because I'm reading through the comments section on that video that someone had posted, and they said the first 5 minutes of 2 Fast, 2 Furious is better than every movie that's been released since combined. And it's kind of true. It's so true. The other ones, they just lost me. I don't know.
I may have to go down this rabbit hole again. I haven't, since they switched to Calvin and Hobbes or whatever, I'm not watching those ones. But and I know that wasn't right, but I can't remember what it is right. So,
no, Calvin and Hobbes is a sub-story of that franchise.
No, but you did it wrong too. It's not Calvin and Hobbes. We did it.
What is it?
I don't know.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah, you did it too.
It's not the tiger and the little kid.
Thank you.
Okay.
But here's all right. So wait. So can we go through them for anybody else so that we're not skipping around?
Yeah,
all right.
and
So then
I'll
we
probably
got to
get
Miami
here. So
and
yeah, we
then
go to Miami.
we go to Tokyo Drift.
We go to Tokyo Drift, but that
Different
is
guy.
out. Different guy. Yeah, Paul did not sign up for this one. I believe Vin
Neither
Diesel
did
was
Vin
in this
Diesel.
one. No, didn't he make a cameo, I think, or something?
Oh, okay.
Maybe. Yeah. But then
I
think
feel
it was,
like we didn't. No, I'm going to say no only because I feel like we didn't see Vin Diesel again until he starred in 4, and I feel like that was part of it.
Maybe so. I thought he
I
made
think
like
that was
a
the
little
Grand National
cameo or
one where they
something.
drive it backwards and everything.
That was, and I had a chance to buy that car actually. And posted a picture of that the other day because when I was trying to buy a certain Herbie,
When you could have had the Toretto
I could have had the
RX-7?
Toretto RX-7. Yeah, if you look in that picture right behind it, the backwards driving Grand National was right there. And I was like, it's cool, and I don't know if you'll even be able to see it. It's on my Instagram, but if you look behind it, you can just make out that little orange and red with the arrow like logo on the trunk lid.
Oh no, I already see it because my dad had. I just told you, my dad had one, and it was black, and I totally see it.
Yeah.
I knew the tail. I used to wash this car. You know what I mean? I literally used to wash this
so
car
the,
and like
the
toothbrush
details.
out the wax from those horrible taillights.
Yeah.
Because the whole car was black and wax is white. It was a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's so funny. So you could have had
RX-7.
either one of those.
Yeah, I could add either one. And actually, I had another Herbie that I was looking to sell and buy another one that I was looking at this museum in Miami, of all places. And they're like, well, we'd be willing to trade you, for something. I was like, all right. I was like, what have you got that you trade? And they're like, we'd really love to have this Herbie. They're like, we've got a couple Fast and Furious cars. And I was like, I don't know. Like, they just weren't the big deal back then. It just wasn't that, they hadn't taken off. Like, now so many people have come into money that grew up on those movies, so like the collectability has risen of those cars now. But back then it was like, man, this RX-7 needs a lot of work. I'm not a rotary guy, but I mean that was the car. Dude, still had like the California license plate on the back of it. The RX-7 did. I mean, it was a cool car, but like some of the interior was taken apart. But yeah, it was. It would have needed a lot of work. And but I mean,
for anyone else, there's the Grand National logo and the right tail light back there, and the little tiny spoiler, little gurney flap that came on that car, just like NASCAR.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. So then it goes to Tokyo Drift, which is where they lost a lot of people with that series. I wasn't really a fan. I remember seeing that at the theater in Orlando, and I was like, I mean, it's cool, but. And then after that, they all just kind of run together for me. I think then it was the next one after that was.
Slow down just for a second though, because Tokyo Drift was one that I didn't watch until later because of whatever reason, and I think because I was the same as you, kind of like just not into it, but I avoided it. Then when I did see it, I actually thought it was probably a better movie than the second one for sure, and maybe even the first. I really enjoyed the movie if you just took if you could erase the fact that you expected to see Paul Walker and Vin Diesel and all the other stuff.
Right.
I was like, I learned a lot about culture elsewhere, car culture elsewhere from a place that I thought I knew about, and I clearly didn't.
Right.
So I kind of enjoyed that, and I guess that's maybe what they were trying to do in Miami. Maybe am I just late to this party? That's what they were always doing, moving it to a different.
I think so, because I mean, it is things were a little different. Like actually, when Too Fast, Too Furious came out, I think I was already living in Orlando, and that first 5 minutes of that, I mean, some of it is played up, obviously. Like, there's not half naked girls walking around, that are just like open to sexual harassment. Like, I mean, there's just random guys grabbing girls' asses in that intro, and they're like, "Oh, that's cool." Like, that wouldn't happen, but the overall mood of like how these races kind of happened and like the whole road closed thing, we used to do that. I used to have a 240 SX with an SR swap in it and turbo. I was all into that whole street racing scene for a while.
Wow.
And we used to do that. We would actually put road closed signs up on these abandoned like roads. We would race south of the airport, which wasn't far from where I lived.
Were you doing strip racing, like a quarter mile
yeah,
stuff?
Yeah,
like...
just straight line stuff. A lot of times it was more than quarter mile. I would say closer to probably half mile. Because I mean, a lot of these cars were turbo cars. So
but
they
point to point straight line.
Until, yeah. But I mean, not the like, we're going to spray paint lines on that. Like, I've never understood that. Have you ever been to a street race where two girls actually spray paint lines on the road? Because I never have.
I've never been to a street race in my life. Are you kidding me?
Really?
I mean, no. In fact, wow. I'm on the cop side out here, where these guys shut down the roads and the shout out to CHP West Valley. They're shutting this shit down left and right, but where they'll like take over an intersection and just donut the fuck out of it and everything. I don't.
Oh, that's different. That's like a sideshow. That's kind of a different. That's more of a
Hooning? Is that hooning?
That's a whole different thing. But yeah, that's just idiotic. I mean, I'm not saying that people wouldn't get hurt street racing, but typically the guys that are there know what they're doing. Like at least when we used to do it. But that stuff, I mean, I've seen videos of those where they'll just take over a parking lot or an intersection. They're like, you got some guy that probably has no business in a fast car, and he's in like a 95 Ford GT, or a Mustang GT convertible, and he's just like swinging like a pendulum and like bowling people over, and everyone's like, world star.
I mean, or a Huracan out here or whatever, but yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy stuff. I mean, the game has changed so much since I used to play in that sandbox back in the day. Like,
but I bet you obviously have much more insight than I do. Were people really racing for pink slips back then and stuff like they did in the 50s and 60s?
I never once. No, but there would be serious money thrown down. I mean, I used to see the Supra guys. There was a company called Titan Motorsports in Orlando, and they were like the Supra tuner back in the day. They probably still are, and so that was a big deal back then. And I never saw anyone like bet their car against another car. I don't think anyone's that confident in their car. These guys have a lot of money in their cars, but I've seen thousands and thousands of dollars thrown down on single races before, for sure. But the pink slip thing, supposedly it used to happen back in the 50s, but like
that's what I always heard, racing for pinks.
Yeah, exactly. And then they had that show. Do you remember Pinks? They used to film that at Orlando Speed World where we would go legit drag race.
Oh no.
And that was called the premise? Pinks. Yeah. And who knows if after the camera stopped rolling, if they actually had to sign over their titles, but that was the premise of the show, basically.
Right.
But yeah.
Wow. Because that, when you said before, like a lot of these guys in the racing, like they actually know what they're doing. In my mind, if the stakes were, they might lose their car, right? They're either winning or losing, walking home losing.
Exactly.
You would have to be pretty sure of yourself to get in that ring, So
I
could see this. Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do that. I've never had a car that I was that confident that I wouldn't, that something wouldn't happen or the nitrous solenoid wouldn't malfunction or whatever else. I mean, because these races, a lot of these big money races I used to see were really close. I mean, close. Like we're talking tenths of a second close,
Right.
Not that we were timing the cars, but you could tell they were, half a car length or something after 150 miles an hour. Like crazy.
That's
close.
Amazing.
But yeah,
that is amazing.
And Tampa was even worse. Like we'd go over to Tampa and they would shut down. Well, they wouldn't shut it down, but I mean, there would be a bridge basically. Like a lot of times it'd be the Clearwater Bridge we'd use too. And you'd see guys like line up along the sides and then they would just stage cars and then gone. And I mean, these things were, it was ridiculous the speeds these guys were doing. Actually, Hulk Hogan's son, we used to see him, Nick Hogan. He was out there with a Supra a lot.
You're kidding.
And he ended up, well, it was a bad deal. Like when I lived there, I wasn't there for this wreck, but he wrecked and it put his friend in the hospital. I think his friend still to this day is like a vegetable.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was not good. So then after that, they really started like, saying enough is enough. And then once they start confiscating cars and crushing them, then it's funny how fast that stuff goes away. Because after that, they were like, no more. And Florida's notorious for like the whole, like when I was there in the early 2000s, the whole JDM culture thing like really took off. And the only reason that thrived in Florida is because there's no
JDM?
laws.
I've heard that before.
Japanese domestic market. So it's all the guys that would like bring the Skylines over and the.
We just used to call it the import market. It's the same thing.
Well, it's not because this was like before the 25-year rule stuff. Cars were coming over here that should not have been here. So like you'd see Nissan Silvias on the road that should not be here because they were newer than the 25-year rule, or like the R34 Skylines, which the 25-year rule that only fairly recently in the last few years I think has come up for the R34s. This was like in the early 2000s. These things were over here and they shouldn't be. But there was
they call that JDM
stuff
at that point.
Well, I mean,
it's more of like a gray market.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
I got you.
Back then, it kind of was like, cars that aren't supposed to be here. Like the coolest Japanese cars that we never got. Like that's the cars
Gotcha, yeah.
People really wanted there. But like people were shipping these things over in containers as parts, then reassembling them, and then they'd just go to the DMV, pay someone off, and they'd print them out a title in Florida.
Yeah, it's a Sentra.
That would never fly.
Nissan Sentra.
Yeah, Yeah, exactly. So all that stuff was going on in Orlando and Tampa and Miami, and it was a big deal, and it really fueled that culture and that whole street racing scene back then. But yeah, I mean,
That's
for a
crazy.
while, like you'd roll up to a car meet and there'd be more right-hand drive cars than left-hand drive cars. It was nuts. So
That's
yeah, just a
amazing.
different world. So like going back to watch like the Fast and Furious movies, it was like, wow, I remember all this. Like this was, this was a big deal back then, and it was kind of cool to go down that little trip down memory lane and and
There's
remember all
one
that
that's
stuff.
absolutely ridiculous, but I found it enjoyable because they were already a cartoon at that point, and it's still Paul Walker, and it's the
Hmm.
one. I mean, it is so ridiculous. Where they steal the bank vault or whatever, and they're dragging it down the street like
Yeah,
forever
that was.
with two
Didn't they
cars.
film that one in Puerto Rico? I think they filmed that
Oh
one in Puerto
my
Rico. That was
lord!
probably like six or something. Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't believe I just started by saying like I rather enjoyed that one. And I'm telling you something that's just absolutely so awful, but
That's when they used the new Charger. I think like that was the big deal that like the new Charger was coming out, and
maybe.
I think they got the new Charger before anyone else had really seen it or whatever. Like it's funny, like if you really want to go down the Fast and Furious rabbit hole, Craig Lieberman, who was the car guy, he was like the picture car guy for the first two films. He's posted all these behind the scenes like photos and videos, and he'll like every week he'll do like a different car. He'll do
Oh,
like
cool.
Suki's pink S2000 and like what that was, the renderings and what it was supposed to be and what it ended up being and how it were made. Like it's really cool. Like for a movie car guy, it's like a super deep dive into that world. But now I think Dennis McCarthy is the guy that does all the Fast and Furious cars. Craig's not in it anymore, but
Gotcha.
he did a lot of the first two movies, and he's got just really, really cool pictures. Like, he'll tell you that, this Supra and this scene was recycled from the first movie because they had a bunch of these still on the Universal lot. So they made this one into the, Slapjack Supra or whatever. And
I
this was
do love
actually one of
stuff
the
like
orange
that.
Supras from, yeah. Oh,
I do
I
love
totally
tracing
geek out on
lineage
that.
and things like that because
Yes.
that's the
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he
follow the
does
puzzle.
that. Yeah. So those are really cool to watch if you ever want to, like, if you're ever really bored and want to do that. But
What
he's
is it,
got some cool
YouTube or
stuff.
Instagram?
YouTube, and his name
Nice.
is Craig Lieberman. So I think if you just put in Craig Lieberman, like it'll come up his videos or whatever. But they're really fascinating, and it's just cool to see like how many guys like seek out the whole Fast and Furious like screen use cars now. Like I mean, even like finding those period tuner rims, like the rims that Brian's Eclipse has in the first movie, like those are really hard to find now. And I
We
mean,
just saw one on
I've
the side of
seen.
the road the other day.
Did you really?
Yeah, on the way to Breakfast Club, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago.
Like it was done up like the Green Eclipse?
Oh yeah, no, it was Paul Walker's car from Fast and the Furious pulled over on the side. It had broken down. It was going to be it was
Wow,
going to be
that's crazy.
flatbedded. And then
That's
in the
hilarious.
exact same spot, the following week we saw on a flatbed driving right next to us in the exact same spot on the highway though on the way to Breakfast Club. Whatever the old fashioned with the wing mirror on the fender, the old fashioned Nissan Skyline that he drove in
Oh
one of the
yeah.
movies.
Oh, that's cool.
Fair Lady? I don't remember what they're all called. But you remember what I'm
It
talking
was
about. It's a huge thing now. People see them all. It's got the four lights
yeah,
in
the
front.
the the old one. They kind
Yeah.
of look like a
Looks like a
510,
510,
but
but
the
it's
old
something
school.
else.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's like the first Skyline.
Yeah, but there was one of those that he drove in the thing too. And I was like, oh,
Yeah, the silver
it's
one.
weird. Like a week apart. It's really weird. Yeah.
That's some
Same spot.
weird Paul Walker energy going on there. Crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I think I told you this, but the place that we restored the Back to the Future time machine was up directly. It's the building right in front of where Paul died. It wasn't at the same time. We weren't there, but like
On
I
Hercules
know
Street?
the place so well. Yeah,
Oh, that's
literally.
crazy.
As in, like where it happened, and then across the street there's a berm and a parking lot and a building. That building,
Yeah.
that parking lot, that there.
Oh, that's a spot.
Yeah, crazy pants. And we just went up there recently and I showed it to her. She'd never been there. To Nicole, she'd never been there because I think I told you she's got a Paul Walker story. She worked with him, just covered him one time, but worked
Oh,
with
did
him
she?
once. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Wow.
pretty cool.
That was a sad day. I'll never
And
forget
I
that
think I
day.
told you too that she always like she holds on to the handle of yellow car. She like that's Paul
Oh,
Walker's
you
hand
did
to
tell
her.
me this story. Yeah,
I don't know.
you
I
did
don't.
tell
I
me
still
this.
don't even know if I know why. Maybe I
Yeah.
should.
Yeah. Oh.
So hey, shout out to
love have
PW.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That'd be cool to get Cody in. I'd love to hear him.
You know what? Okay. So actually, that's really. I'm glad you mentioned that because I think I may owe a big apology to Cody Walker because I, I thought it got. It seems like I might have been the one who dropped the ball. So when I reached out to him just the other day, I haven't had a response yet from his last email of like, "Hey, I can't wait to do it."
Mm-hmm.
And it was like all the COVID stuff in the middle, and we went dark. So anyway, I'm hoping that maybe Cody just is taking a minute to get back to it this time, and that we still haven't ruined our chances.
Cool.
I can't imagine that would be the case, but I wanted him to know that I feel bad, and we just reached out again.
Definitely. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my rabbit hole. Was the whole Fast and Furious thing. So
I think that's awesome. I think it's neat that
cool.
I think it's funny that we wait to tell each other about it here. With our friend at home
for 3 hours. Otherwise, like got to save something for the show. So like, I mean, there's so many times that I was watching the second movie, I think, and I was like, oh, I gotta call Jay. I was like, nope, don't do it. Save it for the show. So.
Well, you know what's funny?
Funny?
I had homework to watch that VW. Which one is the one with Lindsay Lohan?
Oh no, Herbie Fully Loaded.
And but then you sent me a screen grab with you in it because I was looking forward to finding you. But then you sent me the here's
did
the
I blow
prize.
it
Here
for
I
you?
am.
I'm sorry.
It's the scene, and it's the
sorry.
shot.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I didn't go watch that. But is there any homework for this week?
I don't know.
Oh.
Do I need to listen to NASCAR radios? Because I don't know about all that.
What if I just sent you
Ray's shaking his
what if I
head
found
no.
a good one and sent it to you?
I'm with Ray on this one, dude. If I sent you a good one, is there a good one? I think my homework's gonna be.
I love that Ray hangs out to watch the show. Look, he killed all his lighting, everything. He's all relaxed.
It's COVID. What else is he gonna do, man?
Oh, that's so great. That is.
I think everyone's homework needs to be fresh brewed and air cooled. That's what everyone's homework needs.
Oh, I love that.
Make sure you're there with a cup of coffee and listen to Brian Redmond because that is my jam, dude.
I love
All
that.
day.
I love that.
All
And
day.
then maybe if Ray's with us next week, we will check.
That would actually
pressure.
be really cool.
No
let's do
pressure.
Let's do a debrief about him. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I'm down for that.
Good. Hey, you're on the wrong side. Hey, get back over there.
Yes, Ray says thumbs up. Ray says yes. It's a go. Yeah, let's do that. That'd be cool.
Oh, that is so funny.
I'll tell you what.
How are you communicating with Ray Shaffer right now?
I'm just watching him on the bottom screen.
So you are able to see him still in our... You were able to see the control room?
I'm still in his living room, baby. Yep. Yeah.
That's amazing to me. How?
Yep. I don't know. It's like on the bottom of my TV.
So you can
or
see
on
all my cameras too?
Monitor. Well, all I see is me right now. Now I see you. Yes. It's like three shots.
Man,
me,
that's so
you,
funny.
in Ray's living room. Yeah.
Oh, so you've been looking at the three of us the whole time, even though... So you don't know that...
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's really interesting. That is so funny. I did not have any idea. Because
That's what
whatever
I
I see is whatever's going out live to our friend at home.
Oh, gotcha. No,
That's a
I have
riot.
many more views.
So
here.
you've had Ray Shaffer sitting there the whole time.
I have, yes.
This is the coolest thing ever.
I know,
feel
it's
like
really
a kid
great.
with the biggest train set.
It's pretty awesome, dude. It's pretty awesome.
Let's see. I don't know if I don't think there's any bubble fluid in the bubble thing. Otherwise, I turn that on. I haven't filled that in weeks. I'm going to fill that for next week. Yeah,
That's great.
That's dry. All right.
I'll tell you what. Have you geeked out on the Road Scholars YouTube page lately? Man, he's done some good stuff. Like I haven't been keeping up with him, but I watched.
No, the
one
last
about
thing
this.
the last thing I saw was the release for the Bad Boys 964.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah,
They
that
were
was neat.
teasing it. They were like, "Hey, here's a famous, here's a thing."
Yeah. Holy shit! I saw like the detail that they did on that car. I was like, damn, do I need to go back out in the garage and like do some more stuff on mine? Like,
That's
holy
what I was
shit.
talking about. They took, whatever.
It's
Go to
like
Road
partially
Scholars and check it out.
disassembled. Yeah, I was like, whoa, dude, like another level. Like I thought I was doing good with my ceramic coating, but I need to step up my detail game, I guess. I don't know. But no, there's one that you should watch if you haven't seen it yet. That's about a 550 Spider that was found in Germany, in Dusseldorf. It was at Le Mans like 2 or 3 times, like crazy original. I was like, whoa, where did this car come from? Like I hadn't even heard anything about this car.
Okay.
And then they
cool.
did this video on it. It's a 2-part series. It's unreal. I think it's called like Off the Grid 550 or that's what they call it. But if you go on Road Scholars, you'll see it. It's like, I think chassis 142. It's a 550A. You'll love it. It's unreal. Like the patina on that car is just delicious. It's unreal. So check that out.
I did see that. But I didn't. It said,
Oh,
"Where's this been?" And I did see that somebody else posted it. Where's this been? And it is like the old, when you said it was the original chassis. That's what made me think of it because I did see that,
I was like,
like
oh
the
my
Telefunken
God.
car, but not the Telefunken car.
Yeah, like how
Yeah.
has that car been hidden all this time and nobody knew about it? Because I mean, even Cam's like, that chassis number didn't even ring a bell or register to me. Because I mean, there's only so many spiders out there that are original that are still left, and so like when you say
Yeah.
chassis number 90, you know exactly which one everyone's talking about. But when he said, he had to Google 142, and he goes the same like race car site that I always go to, that's like sportscars.net or something like that, but it shows like all these archival photos and like it's really cool site. But he was on that site and it was like, holy shit, this car ran at Le Mans like twice. Like, how did we not know about this car still being around?
That's wild.
Dude, it's legit. That car is amazing. So
what a great
I'd love to
segue. So
hear.
there we go. Head on over to Road Scholars YouTube now. Check that out. But then also on Saturday, we've got the Fresh Brewed and Air Cooled with Brian Redman.
Yeah, that'll be cool. I'm looking forward to that.
Shout out to Cam Ingram too, by the way. Love him. Love Cam.
Yeah, they do some pretty.
Don't get to
amazing
see him
stuff.
because they're not traveling. Nobody's traveling.
Oh no, it's a bummer.
I feel good about this. How about you?
I do. Yeah. We got to all of our weird little like rabbit holes and got to.
Told you my
catch up
embarrassing
with Ray.
stuff.
NASCAR radios. That's awesome.
No, dude, you're not gonna get into it, but you're gonna go like, oh no, I could see how you would watch a handful of these because you let it go and you watch 20 races. It's only an hour, and it's not like you're watching. You know what I mean? It's just kind of happening in the background.
Yeah. Well, what else are we gonna do? I mean, geez,
All right. On behalf of myself and Mr. Tory Alonso for Tuesdays with Tory and Mr. Ray Shaffer, thank you to Ray Shaffer, as always, for gracing us as well and for setting up his shot and getting his audio working. That all really worked out well. We love you at home. We're good, right, buddy?
We're good, man.
All right.
Be here
I'll
next
talk to you
Tuesday.
later, and we'll see you
Yeah.
next time.
Sounds good,
Thursday,
man.
I can't remember. Somebody's here Thursday. All right.
Sweet.
I can't remember. Love everybody. Please love one another. Hang on to each other, and please stay safe, healthy, all the stuff. It's fucking crazy out there. Love you. Bye.
Yeah. Later.